Welcome to all of you who have joined the company corporate secretary practices a set of lectures that we'll be doing in furtherance of making you well prepared to be a proper company secretary with the required technical skills as well as the logic that you need to know behind the job of a company secretary or a corporate secretary. Company secretary practices is a very specific area which I believe all of you are already registered company secretaries, and thereby you also must be having some practical problems with regard to how to carry on your duties, services as a company secretary. So this set of lectures is focused on teaching you both the theory aspects with regard to company secretarial practices as well as the practical aspects that you ought to know, especially when handling clients as a company secretary. එතකොට මේ lecture series එක අපි භාෂාවන් දෙකෙන්ම කරගෙන යනවා, ඉංග්‍රීසියෙන් සහ සිංහලෙන් තේරුම් ගැනීමේ පහසුව සඳහා. We'll be doing the lectures in both the languages, Sinhala and English, for the ease of understanding. So I'll just give you a minute introduction as to how we intend to do the set of lectures before we jump on to what we are going to discuss today in the first lecture. So with regard to this particular course of study, what we intend to do is the theory aspects I'll be teaching you through some recorded sessions which will be released to you from time to time through the period of 3 months, and separately I will be having live classes with you. Why do we have live classes? Majorly, as all of you I believe must have registered as company secretaries as of now, you must be having mostly, the theory skills or the technicalities that you ought to know, you must be knowing already. But whenever there are problems with regard to the site or with regard to your customers, clients, some things are not really addressed in the EROC platform. So all of those issues, how do you resolve them, is what we are going to discuss in the practical session that I'll be doing as a live session with all of you. So I am a practice company secretary, practicing company secretarial work even today. So with that depth of knowledge that I have, I intend to be of utmost service to you. That being said, I'll give a brief introduction about myself. My name is Dilani Jayatilaka. I'm an attorney at law, company secretary, notary public, and a commissioner of oaths. I have completed my master's in international law, specializing in human resource, and those are the academic qualifications and the professional qualifications through which I intend to teach a particular part for you with regard to the company secretarial practices. I myself have learned some of these the hard way by walking into the registrar of companies almost all daily, and then through that exposure I intend to help you with the course of study today. එතකොට මේ කම්පනි සෙක්‍රටරි නැත්නම් අපි සමාගම් ලේකම් කියන එකේ ඇත්තටම තියරි පාර්ට් එක අපිට ලොකු අමාරුවක් ලොකු අපහසුයක් නැහැ තේරුම් ගන්න. මොකද ඒක අපි නීතිඥ වෘත්තිකයන් නම් අපි ලෝ කොලෙජ් එකේ සහ අපි අනිත් නීති පාඨමාලාවන් වල කම්පනි මේ සමාගම් පනත යටතේ අපි දේවල් ඉගෙන ගන්නවා. එතකොට ඒකේ තියරි එක ගැන අපිට සාමාන්‍ය තරමක දැනුමක් තියෙනවා. ඒක ලොකම ප්‍රශ්නේ වෙන්නේ මේක ප්‍රැක්ටිස් එකේදී තියෙන ප්‍රශ්න වලට අපිට උත්තර හොයාගන්න තැනක් නොමැතිකම තමයි මේ ලොකම ප්‍රශ්නේ තියෙන්නේ කම්පනි සෙක්‍රටේරියල් වැඩවල. එතකොට මම මුලින්ම ඒ particular රස්සාව ගැන කියන්නේ රස්සාවක් කියලා කියනත් බෑ සර්විස් එක ගැන මම හැඳින්වීමක් දීලා ඊට පස්සේ අපි අපේ අද පාඩමට එමු. එතකොට ඉස්සර මේ සමාගම් ලේකම් නැත්නම් කම්පනි සෙක්‍රටරි වැඩ කියලා කියන්නේ හරිම අමාරු දේවල්. මොකද අපිට ඉස්සර EROC platform එකක් තිබ්බේ නැහැ. එතකොට අපි සමාගම් මැදුරට ඔබ දන්නවත් ඇති මරදානි තියෙන සමාගම් මැදුරට ගිහිල්ලා තමයි හැමදේම කරගත්තේ. හරිම it was very cumbersome. හරි අමාරුයි ෆයිල් පිටින් උස්සගෙන යන්නට ඕනේ. වැරද්දක් තිබුණොත් අර ටයිප් රයිට් එකකින් මකලා හදවන්න ඕනේ. එතකොට ඒ වගේ බොහොම අමාරු කාර්යකින් දැන් අපි මේ තනිකරම ඉලෙක්ට්‍රොනික ප්ලැට්ෆෝම් එකකට ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා. එතකොට ඉස්සර වගේ තාමත් අපහසුකම් තියෙනවා. හැබැයි ඉස්සර වගේ අර ෆිසිකල් අපහසුතාවයක් ඇත්තටම නැහැ. So nowadays it's actually much more convenient than how it was those days. तर මම තව මේ කම්පනි සෙක්‍රටරියල් මම සාමාන්‍යයෙන් මේ ගොඩක් කොමර්ස් ෆීල්ඩ් එකේ දරුවන්ට උගන්වනවා එක එක ෆීල්ඩ්ස් වලින්. එතකොට ඒ හැමෝටම මම කියන දෙයක් තමයි මේ කම්පනි සෙක්‍රටරි කියලා කියන්නේ ඇත්තටම ගෙදරට වෙලා හම්බ කරන්න පුළුවන් රස්සාවක් අද. රස්සාවක් හෝ සේවාවක් අද. මොකද ඉස්සර තමයි අපි හැමදේටම සමාගම් මැදුරට registrar of companies යන්නට සිද්ධ වුණේ. දැන් එහෙම නෙමෙයි. EROC platform එකෙන් companies වල තියෙන බහුතරයක් ප්‍රශ්න ලේසියෙන් විසඳා ගැනීමේ හැකියාව තියෙනවා. ඉතින් ඒක නිසා මම බහුතරයක් දරුවන්ට සාමාන්‍යයෙන් දෙන උපදේශක් තමයි දැන් මම දන්න නීතිඥ වෘත්තිකයන්ුත් ඉන්නවා මේ company secretary aspect එක practice නොකරන company secretary කියන කොටස සිද්ධ කරන්නේ නැති. ඇත්තට මේක අපරාධයක්. It's a waste. Why? Because company secretary matters is something now, not like going to court or not like even what I am doing now, lecturing. You have to get dressed, you have to be presentable, look presentable and go to a particular place and do the lectures, which is not a requirement when it comes to these particular aspects, the company secretary aspects, because you can do everything at your at your just at the fingertip, right? Laptop එකක් පරිගණකයක් පමණයි තියෙන්නට ඕනේ. බොහොම ලේසියට company secretary මූලික වැඩ ටික කරන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි මම කලින් කිව්වා වගේ ප්‍රශ්න නැතුවා නෙමෙයි. ඒ ප්‍රශ්න විසඳා ගන්නත් සාමාන්‍යයෙන් practically ප්‍රශ්න විසඳ ගන්න විදි තියෙනවා. එතකොට ඒ විදිත් එක්ක තමයි ඔයගලන්ට මේ පාඨමාලාව ගේන්නේ තේරුම් ගන්න ලේසි වෙන විදියට. Along with those practical exposures that you need only, this particular platform is being bought for you for the ease of understanding. එතකොට something that I usually tell my students is make sure, so you should know what happens through the course. So during the 3-month period you will be getting some recorded sessions for the theory lessons with regard to company secretarial practices. Separately we will be doing some live sessions to solve the problems, the practical day-to-day issues that you have with regard to company secretarial matters. Helping out with those is what we do during the live sessions. Now after the period of 3 months we will have to sit for an exam, again an exam, a written paper with regard to company secretarial matters, the theory, as well as a practical, maybe a one-on-one session where I ask you some questions as a client and what you need to really answer me are what we are going to cover up in the set of lectures, which will be practice, which will be given as a practical exam also to you at the end of the 3-month period. So my intention is that after the period of 3 months, usually you will be more competent as a company secretary. Of course, it all depends on how you gather your clients. I can teach you mechanisms to keep your clientele with you. ඒ කියන්නේ clients ලා ඔයාව දාලා යන්නේ නැතුව ඔයත් එක්ක companies register කරන අපි තේරුම් ගන්න ඕනේ. දැන් බහුතරයක් මං හිතනවා මෙතන join වෙලා ඉන්න අයත් නීති වෘත්තිකයන්. I believe majority of you are joined are also lawyers. So even in our court practice, right, we can't do touting, we can't do advertising. So අපිට clients ලව ගෙන්න ගන්න කියලා විදිහක් නැහැ. හැබැයි අපිට කරන්න පුළුවන් දේ තමයි අපි ළඟට එන client අපි හොඳට treat කරොත්, if we retain the client that we have, that client will inform another friend or another person, a relative, that this particular person is good and thereby you will get business. ඇත්තටම අපේ profession එකේ කට වචනයෙන්ම තමයි අපිට clients ලව එකතු කරගන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට ඕගලන් සාමාන්‍යයෙන් කතා බහ නොකරන client කෙනෙක්ව handle කරන එක මේක ඇත්තටම HR part එකකුත් තියෙනවා. In company secretarial matters as a part of human resource management as well. කියන්නේ company එක තියෙන human resource නෙමෙයි, but අපිට එන clientele එකේ human resource we should be able to manage them. එතකොට ඒක කරන්නේ කොහොමද? අපිට client කෙනෙක් frustrate වෙන්නේ නැතුව client කෙනෙක්ට කොහොමද company secretarial services provide කරන්නේ කියන දේවල් ටික aspects ටික තමයි අපි මේ පාඩම් මාලාවෙන් cover කරන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ. එතකොට මම කලින් කිව්වා වගේ ඔයගලන්ට theory එක වෙනම recorded sessions විදියට හම්බ වෙනවා. practical aspects ටික මම වෙනම ඔයගලන්ට තියෙන අපේ forms ගැන, forms fill කරන විදිහ ගැන, අපි annual return උදාහරණයකට annual return එකක් file කරද්දී සාමාන්‍ය මුලින්ම check කරන්න ඕනේ දේවල් ගැන. ඒතර ඔය සියලු දේ ගැන මම theory මේ practically උගන්වනවා live sessions වලදී. ඊට අමතරව ඔබ දැනටමත් company secretary practices කරනවා නම් ඔයගලන්ට පුළුවන් ඒ ඔයගලගේ දැනුම company secretary practices කරන මේ අයට පුළුවන් ඒ සම්බන්ධ ප්‍රශ්න මොන හරි තියෙනවා නම් live session එකේදී අහන්න. මට පුළුවන් උපරිමයකින් මම ඒවට උත්තර දෙන්න බැඳිලා ඉන්නවා. සහ මං උත් නොදන්න අලුතෙන් හොයා ගන්න පුළුවන් දෙයක් නම් මම ඒක ගැන හොයලා බලලා හරි ඔයගලන්ට කියලා දෙන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා. ඒකට ඇත්තටම මේ පාඩම් මාලාව අවසානයේ මගේ බලාපොරොත්තුව ඔබ විභාගයක් පාස් වීමකටත් වඩා ඔබ මේ company secretary කියන position එක හරියට තේරුම් අරගෙන ඒකේ තියෙන roles responsibilities තේරුම් අරගෙන ඒකෙන් අපිට ලැබෙන advantages තේරුම් අරගෙන ඒ අනුව අපිට තියෙන liabilities උත් තේරුම් අරගෙන ඒ කියන්නේ හිරේ යන තත්වයකට උනත්පත් වෙන්න පුළුවන් කියන දේ තේරුම් අරගෙන පරිස්සමට මේ company secretary වැඩේ කරලා company secretary services that you will provide the company secretary services properly and thereby that you will benefit yourself as well as your clients. That's the main intention of doing this set of slides. So you all would have gotten the module preparation already, what we'll be discussing on each day. So you can go through that, and accordingly if you have any questions please direct them to me during the live classes. එතකොට මම හැමතිස්සෙම කියන දෙයක් තමයි අපි දෙයක් කරද්දී ඒක හරියට කරන්න දැනගෙන ඉන්නට ඕනේ. කියන්නේ ඕන එක්කෙනෙක්ට කම්පැනි සෙක්‍රටරි දැන් ඇත්තම කතාව අපි කම්පැනිස් ගත්තම especially if it's a private limited company, private limited පුද්ගලික සමාගමක් නම් බොහෝ දුරට සමාගමේම අධ්‍යක්ෂකවරයෙක් company secretary වැඩ කරන වෙලාවල් තියෙනවා. සමාගම් ලේකම් ධූරය දරන වෙලාවල් තියෙනවා. ඒතකොට ඇත්තටම මොකද private limited company එකකට company secretary කෙනෙක් වෙනමම සිටීම අවශ්‍ය වෙන්නේ නැහැ. director කෙනෙක්ටම company secretary වැඩ කරන්නට පුළුවන්. හැබැයි ඔක ප්‍රශ්නයක් වෙන්නේ legal situation එකකදී ඒ ඩිරෙක්ටර් සමහර විට කළ යුතු දේ නොදැනී ඉන්නට පුළුවන්. එතකොට එහෙම ප්‍රශ්නයක් ඔබට නොවෙන්න තමයි මේ කම්පැනි සෙක්‍රටරි වැඩ ඔබට කියලා දෙන්නේ. එතකොට ඇත්තටම මේ පාඨමාලාවෙන් ඔබට ප්‍රයෝජනවල් දෙකක් තියෙනවා. මම දකින විදිහට. එකක් තමයි ඔබ දැනටම කම්පැනි සෙක්‍රටරි කෙනෙක් විදිහට රෙජිස්ටර් වෙලා තියෙනවා නම් ඔබට පුළුවන් ඔබේ සේවාදායකයන්ට you can make sure that your clients get the appropriate service from you as a company secretary. Now on the other hand, if you are not a company secretary already and if you intend to start your own business, right, if you intend to start your own business, then what can be done is as a business person, right, as a business person you will know to do your company secretary matters on your own and you will not need to recruit a company secretary for your company. Actually something I have noticed in my day-to-day practice as a company secretary as well as a lawyer as well as an attorney at law is that people take this role very slightly. මිනිස්සු මේක හරිම සාමාන්‍ය රෝල් එකක් ලොකු සීරියස්නස් එකක් එක්ක බාරගන්නේ නැහැ. හැබැයි ඒක එහෙම නෙමෙයි. කම්පැනි එකක් සම්බන්ධව අධ්‍යක්ෂකවරයන්ට තියෙන වගකීම හා සමාන වගකීමක් සමාගම් ලේකම්ටත් තියෙනවා. The company secretary has equal responsibilities, almost all equal responsibilities to that of the directors of the company. So therefore you need to have a very good idea, a very good clue on what is really happening. If you intend to practice company secretarial matters even as a service provider or for your own company, you should know the nitty-gritties of the job, what are the roles expected of the company secretary and what are the things that the company secretary is especially expected to do in a company. You ought to have a very good idea, right? So with that in mind, let's get to what we are going to discuss today, the introduction to company secretary's role and responsibilities, right? So if you intend to become a company secretary, first and foremost you should know what are the things that I must do and what are the things that I am empowered to do. So as a company secretary, some things that you can do are not things that some other people can do. So you have been given some specific powers, but with great power comes great responsibility. You should understand that along with the power that you have, there are some responsibilities entrusted in you as well. So therefore you should make sure that you understand your role and your responsibilities and you do the best towards your clients, right? I'll just start with a simple example of, I have my friends, I have some of my students doing company secretarial matters, and this is a very common issue that they come to me with several times that I have helped students with, and I'll be helping you also with this particular aspect, right? So now usually let's say a client approaches you to get the company secretary work done, right? So first and foremost, especially what the customer or your client will tell you is, what do you need to register my company? What do you need to register my company? First, company secretary should know what is the process of registering the company. What are the steps of registering a company? This is not rocket science, right? You do it for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 companies and now you know the procedure. Right? It's just that you need the practice of it. But you can't take your clients as lab rats, right? You can't use your clients as a means of experimenting and keep on calling them from time to time. I missed to ask this, I missed to ask this, මට මේක අහන්න අමතකුණා කියලා සැරින් සැරේ clients වලට call කර විස්තර ඇහුවොත් then your client will get fed up of you and the client will not come to you, right? So something I practice as a company secretary, right? I am teaching you without keeping anything of a benefit for me, because I believe students who have studied from me, whatever the subject, may it be company secretarial matters, may it be any other, company law, commercial law, whatever it is, I want you all to be, good in your profession, right? Though I will not consider you as a competitor, right? So because of that, I am teaching you everything. What I personally do is I have a particular checklist, right? So first and foremost, we know that we have to register the name of the company, right? So to register the name, what are the details that we need? So we know to register the company, we need the company name in Sinhala, English and Tamil, right? So usually client will tell you the name in English, right? Now let's say if it's now sometimes we know in writing Sinhala there can be differences between and sometimes companies are using this, sometimes companies using this. So we as the company secretary can't decide whether the company wants this මේ හල් නයන්න ඕනේද බින්දුව ඕනේද කියලා අපිට company secretary විදිහට decide කරන්න බෑ. We can't decide as the company secretary because it's the client's company. You should ask them, right? So first itself, to register the name of the company, you should have the English name of the company, Sinhala name of the company, Tamil translation of the company name. Together with that, you should be able to tell your client that this is the charge to register the name of the company, right? Okay, let's say name registration done. Next comes the company registration. Now in the company registration, for each form there are different details that you require, right? Now usual details, clients, you will take the client's ID photos, you will, so in the ID photo the name, ID number, address will be there, right? Separately you need to have an address for the company also, so those details also you usually take. But at the end of the, let's say form 18, form 19, at the end of the form they ask for the birth date of the directors. Now මොකද කරන්නේ අර කම්පැනි එක සබ්මිට් කර කර ඉන්න ගමන් ડોකියුමන්ට් එක හදා හදා ඉන්න ගමන් තමයි බර්ත් ඩේට් එක අහලා තියනවා කියලා දකින්නේ. ක්ලයන්ට් ගන්නවා කෝල් එක, right? ඒ ඔහොම සමහර විට ෆෝම්ස් ටික හදා ගන්න. ෆෝම් ඒ කියන්නේ අපි සබ්මිට් කරන්න තියෙන ෆෝම් 1, ෆෝම් 18, 19 ඒ ටික හදා ගන්න and the articles of association ඔය ටික හදා ගන්න ක්ලයන්ට් 20 පාරක් විතර කෝල් කරනවා, right? Client will get fed up. Because client will think, this is the first time he or she is incorporating a company. He or sometimes it might not be your first time, but you have forgotten to get the required details. You need to have a separate checklist for it. Okay, I have gotten the number of directors. Each director, under each director, these are the things I ought to have. So I have my formats which I have kept, which I send it to my client, tell them fill this in, send it. After you send it, along with the fee only, I'll be doing the name registration and then the company incorporation, right? So those formats that I have prepared for my clients, I'll be sharing it with you in this particular set of lectures, so that you will know when you get a client, what are the things you ought to ask the client, what are the things you need not ought to ask the client. For example, let's say the client's religion is not required in the form 1, form 18 or form 19. ක්ලයන්ට් ගෙන් ගිහිල්ලා ආගම ඇහුවොත් එහෙම ප්‍රශ්නයක්. ක්ලයන්ට් බලයි ඇයි මේ පුද්ගලයා මගේ ආගම අහන්නේ, ආගම අදාළ වෙන්නේ නැහැ. සමහර විට ක්ලයන්ට්ස්ලා ෆස්ට් ටයිම් නෙමෙයි කම්පැනි එකක් ඉන්කෝපරේට් කරන්නේ. සමහර විට ක්ලයන්ට්ස්ලාත් අපිට වැඩිය ප්‍රොසීඩියර් එක දන්න ක්ලයන්ට්ස්ලා ඉන්නවා. එතකොට ඒ අනවශ්‍ය ඩීටේල්ස් අහලා වැඩකුත් නැහැ. අත්‍යවශ්‍ය ඩීටේල්ස් ටික පමණක් අරගෙන වැඩේ කරන්න දැනගන්නට ඕනේ. එතකොට ඒ වගේ ප්‍රැක්ටිකල් ඇස්පෙක්ට්ස් උත් මම ඔයගලන්ට උගන්වන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා මේ පාඨමාලාව ඇතුළතදී. එතකොට මේ උදාහරණයක් විදිහට මම කිව්වේ. එතකොට මේ අපේ roles and responsibilities තේරුම් ගන්නේ නැතුව ඇත්තටම අපි මින් ඉදිරියට පාඩම අරගෙන ගිහිල්ලා වැඩක් නැහැ. ඒක නිසා තමයි පළවෙනි පාඩම විදිහට මේ කම්පැනි සෙක්‍රටරිගේ වගකීම් අපිට කම්පැනි එකක් තුළ කරන්න තියෙන දේවල්, ව්‍යාපාරයක් තුළ අපිට කරන්න තියෙන දේවල් තේරුම් ගන්න මේ පාඩම අපි ආරම්භ කරන්නට යන්නේ. So let's start with the company secretary's role and responsibilities. So first and foremost, before knowing the company secretary's roles and responsibilities, you should know who is a company secretary. සමාගම් ලේකම් කියන්නේ කවුද කියලා අපි මුලින් දැනගෙන ඉන්නට ඕනේ. The word secretary is derived from the Latin word secretaries, means සමහරවිට ඔයගලන් අහලා ඇති අපි secretary කියලා English වලින් කිව්වට people usually pronounce it as secretary. Meaning of secretary, you can see this word, this is the important word. Secret, right? It's a confidential officer. Now this is an extremely important point, right? මතක තියාගන්න. කිසිම වෙලාවක under any cost you can't divulge, just like our legal aspects. If you're a lawyer, you would know we have attorney-client privilege. Just like that, any detail that you get from your client is confidential. From the client's ID card to the client's capital of the company, confidential information. That's why the word secretary, secret, right? That secret aspect is there because it's a very confidential role. At any point, you cannot divulge any details of your clients. Now, even when I'm going to teach you, I might show you my EROC platform, but I have to make sure that my clients' details, meaning my clients' company names, company registration numbers, those should not go into the hands of the students. Extremely confidential information. So you should be really careful as a company secretary. Now, especially if you have these clients' IDs, details in your phones, maybe phones can get lost if someone uses your client's details. Even as a lawyer, we should remember this. If someone uses, now if you take our phones, you are usually on WhatsApp and all, clients send ID card, photos and whatnot. So we have a lot of personal data of people collected in our personal, laptops, phones, whatnot. So you have to be very careful. The moment that something, you lose your phone or you lose your laptop or, you give to get it made and they have taken some of the information, you are bearing a personal liability because it's a confidential position. A secretary is defined by the Oxford Dictionary as one who is employed to conduct correspondence. So basically you are like a mid person. Now, even if you take company secretary or a mid person between whom and whom, you are a mid person between the company's house or the registrar of companies and the client. You are the mid person communicating information from your client to the registrar of companies. To keep records, another essential part of a company secretary's job is keeping records or maintaining records. So everything you do should be in a documented, recorded format. Even your company secretary work in your laptop should be properly organized. එහෙයි මෙහෙයි එකක් downloads වල එකක් documents වල එකක් emails වල එහෙම තියෙන්න බෑ. Up to the form that you send to your client and the signed form that you get, and once you upload it to the EROC platform, the certified copy that you get, everything should be collected in ideal folders in your laptop, right? These are not this is not rocket science. It's not difficult to do. It's just that if you're not an organized person, being a company secretary is going to be difficult. Why? Because one of your main duties is keeping records. You should know what are the records that you have. Eka නැත්තම් එක ප්‍රශ්නයක්. If you don't have the required records, it's a problem. So therefore, you need to keep records of everything happening in the company, to transact various other businesses. Sometimes they transact other businesses. Usually we know company secretary have an administrative role in the company. Company secretary has an administrative role in the company, right? So usually any administrative functions, even company secretary can enter into administrative contracts on behalf of the company. So therefore transacting other businesses, not the financial businesses per se, but administrative businesses for another person or society, corporation or a public body. That's the definition of a company secretary, which all in all explains what you ought to do as a company secretary, right? So this being said, let's move on to the next slide where we are going to discuss what a company secretary does. It's important to note that having a company secretary is not merely a preference but a legal requirement for registering a company in Sri Lanka. So now you can't, one might say, okay, for private companies having a company secretary is not a must. No, having a company secretary is a must. It's just that you don't have to recruit an external company secretary. You can recruit one of your directors itself as the company secretary. That does not mean that that company does not need a company secretary. Every company needs a company secretary, but if it's a public company, you need to recruit people with the particular qualification of a company secretary. But for private companies, even a director can act as the company secretary of a company, but it's a legal requirement to have a company secretary. This legal expert is the linchpin to initiating the formalization of your business venture. So especially if you want to do a proper legal job in the registering of your company, you will need the rightful hand of a rightful company secretary. So therefore we have to be extremely careful, especially when you are selecting. Later on in this slide also I will be teaching you as a company secretary what are the qualifications, what are the things that you ought to train yourself in. That also I will be teaching you in this set of slides itself. So remember, having a company secretary is a legal requirement for an organization. Therefore, there are legal aspects that the company secretary have to look into. එතකොට company secretary සමාගම් ලේකම් කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවයි කියන එක මේ නිකම් preference එකක් විතරක් නෙමෙයි. නිකම් අපිට ඕන නම් ඉන්නවයි කියන දේ නෙමෙයි. company secretary කෙනෙක් සිටිය යුතුයි. නීත්‍යානුකූලව. හැබැයි ඒ කම්පනි සෙක්‍රටරි අපිට පුද්ගලික සමාගමක් නම් සමහර විට කම්පනි සෙක්‍රටරිද අපිට අධ්‍යක්ෂකවරයෙක්වම අපේ සමාගම් ලේකම් විදියට පත් කරගන්න පුළුවන්. ඒක කරන්න බෑ පබ්ලික් ලිමිටඩ් කම්පනි එකක. ප්‍රයිවට් ලිමිටඩ් කම්පනි එක නම් ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෑ. හැබැයි මතක තියාගන්න ඕනේ දේ තමයි මේ අපේ කම්පනි එකේ තියෙන ලීගල් සෝස් එක. ඒ කියන්නේ ලීගලි අපේ කම්පනි එකේ දේවල් කරගෙන යන නීත්‍යානුකූල අපේ කම්පනි එකේ දේවල් කරගෙන යන විශේෂයෙන් කම්පනි එකේ ඩොකියුමන්ට්ස් හරියට නීත්‍යානුකූලව කරගෙන යන්න බලය තියෙන්නේ කම්පනි සෙක්‍රටරිට සමාගම් ලේකම්ට. ඒක නිසා ඒ කාර්ය දන්න පුද්ගලයෙක් සමාගම් ලේකම් කෙනෙක් විය යුතුයි. එතකොට සමාගම් ලේකම් ධූරය තුල කරන්න බහුතරයක් රාජකාරීන් තියෙන නිසා අපි සමාගම් ලේකම් කියන්නේ කවුද? සමාගම් ලේකම් මොන වගේ වැඩද ආයතනය තුල කරන්නේ? ඇත්තටම සමාගම් ලේකම් කෙනෙක් කරන වැඩ කාර්යයන් දෙකකට බෙදන්න පුළුවන්. එකක් තමයි කම්පනි එක ආරම්භ කරන්න ඉන්කෝපරේෂන් එකට කරන වැඩ වගේම අනිත් පැත්තට incorporation එකෙන් පස්සේ කරන වැඩ. So usually when you take the duties of a company secretary, there are two aspects. One aspect is at the incorporation of the company, what are the things that the company secretary ought to do. Second aspect is after the incorporation of the company, what is the maintenance work that the company secretary have to do. So both of those I'll be teaching you today. Alright, so with that, let's move on to discuss the next part. So as I told you before, role of a company secretary is twofold. Once before the at the incorporation of the company, what is the role of the company secretary, and next after the incorporation, what is the role of the company secretary are the areas that we are going to cover today. So first we are going to discuss the duties during registration. Now please remember that this is only, I am just giving you the theory that you ought to know. Of course you can take down some notes if you require. But the practical lesson, for example, here I have told you that duties of the company secretary include name approval, right? So how is the name approval done? What are the aspects company secretary need to know with regard to name approval? Those things I'll be doing to you in the live class that I'll be doing with you. Here it's just the theory, what are the things that you ought to have. And along with that, I also want to emphasize on one small aspect that I could not emphasize on before. As a company secretary, we know that all of this documentation happens in English. And nowadays, you know, very rarely that you can find companies that are just operating in Lanka only. Sometimes some MNCs, multinational corporations also can always think big, right? Some multinational corporations also might come to you to register their companies, especially when you take companies limited by guarantee and all. Sometimes foreign entities try to speak to you. So therefore, as a company secretary, your English knowledge is utmostly important. සමාගම් ලේකම් කෙනෙක් විදිහට අපි මේ සියලුම forms fill කරන ඒවා ඒ ඔක්කොම කරන්නේ ඉංග්‍රීසියෙන්. එතකොට අපි clientsලා බහුතරයක් එක්කත් කතා කරන්නේ ඉංග්‍රීසියෙන්. ඉතින් ඒක නිසා ඉංග්‍රීසි දැනුමත් සාමාන්‍යයෙන් මේ company secretary වැඩ කරද්දී බෙහෙවින් වැදගත් වෙනවා. ඒක දැන් අපිට හොඳටම polished English තියෙන්නට ඕනේ නැහැ. මේ level එකේදී polished English තියෙන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. ඔබ සමහර විට clientsලාත් එක්ක වැඩ කරන්න ගත්තාම ටික ටික ඔබේ ඉංග්‍රීසි හැදෙන්න ඉඩ තියෙනවා. හැබැයි ඒකටත් අවධානයක් යොමු කරන්නට ඕනේ. Because even when you're sending an email, අපි email එකක් යවුවත් ඒක proper English වලින්, ඒ කියන්නේ අපි කියනවා professional English වලින් email එකක් යවන්න clientsලාත් එක්ක කතා බහ කරන්න හැකියාව තියෙන්නට ඕනේ. ඉතින් ඒක නිසා ඒ aspect උත් මතක තියාගන්න. සාමාන්‍යයෙන් ඉංග්‍රීසි භාවිතය මේ සේවාව සැපයීමේදී බෙහෙවින් වැදගත් වෙනවා. Your English ability to understand as well as to speak, maybe sometimes to draft also, because many a times many communications happen with your clients, with the registrar of companies via letters. So those letters are usually not in Sinhala, they are in English. Even sometimes you will have to liaise with banks. There also you will have to give documentation in English. You will have to draft board resolutions, extracts. So for all of that, your English knowledge is utmostly important, right? So duties during registration. Now, as I told you before even the incorporation of a company in Lanka, first thing you need to do is the name approval. That is, you need to get the name of the company approved. So there are some rules with regard to naming a company, right? All of those I'll be teaching in detail during the live session that I do for you. So with regard to the name approval, there are now rules, right, with regard to how a company name should end. Then what type of names can be used in a company, what words can't be used in a company name, especially words like department, words like university having an affiliation to the government. Those words can't be used in private companies. You can't use words like Sri Lanka, Ceylon, right? So sometimes you might think about so many examples of different companies using those terminologies, but we need to study the correct way, right? Then about you can't copy the name of another name. You can't have a name which is similar to that of another company name. Now usually when you submit for approval, if there's another company name which is similar, they will reject your application and say to change the company name, right? Then you can't have names which are offensive. You can't have names, you can't use in our terms, filth, naraka vachana පාවිච්චි කරන්න බෑ company name එකක. ඊට අමතරව usually when you take a company name, I told you it can't be offensive. Now for example, let's say I start a company called Dilani's Fashions, right? My name is Dilani, so let's say I start a company called Dilani's Fashions. You can't go and start a company called Better Than Dilani's, right? Because it's offensive on my company. So like that, there are some regulations that you ought to know with regard to naming a company. So that name approval part is done by the company secretary. You should actually now if usually when you take my structure that I send to the client, I specifically inform my client before naming the company, go at least a minimum Google search on the company. If there is a company having a similar name, they will not allow you to register your company name. So those things, right, should be the company secretary should have knowledge to inform your clients beforehand. Securing approval for your company's name is a preliminary but crucial step. So actually it's the preliminary step. It's the first step in forming your company, but it's a crucial step, very, very important. Without a name, you can't register the company. When you get your name approval, they will give you a name approval number. Through that number only you can register the company. Otherwise, you can't register the company in Sri Lanka. Company secretary provides guidance to ensure that the chosen name aligns with the regulatory requirements. So what are these regulatory requirements? We are studying it separately, right? I'll teach you all of these regulatory requirements with regard to naming a company at the live session. Then after you do the name approval, second step is you have to do document submission, right? At the incorporation of the company also there are some document submissions. Throughout the period, again and again and again, there will be document submissions. The journey towards company registration involves a series of meticulous tasks, including filling out and submitting various documents to the registrar of companies from time to time. So I told you at the beginning of the company, you have to submit form 1, form 18, form 19 and the articles of association. So we are coming to the articles of association afterwards, right? Now you make your form 1, form 18, form 19 එතනින් ඉවර වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ ටික කරා කියලා ඒ ටික සබ්මිට් කරා හරි කියලා that's the incorporation, right? Later on sometimes directors change, then you have to again submit form 20s. Annually you have to submit annual returns, form 15s. So all of those have to be drafted, submitted correctly. Sometimes the EROC sends them back to you that they are rejected, then you have to resupply the documents. So all of that have to be taken into consideration. These documents serve as the foundation of your company's legal existence. So if you don't submit the correct documentation in the correct way, the company secretary will be liable to set the documents in the correct order, in the correct way. annual return එක දාන්න දවසක් තියෙනවා. forms ටික දාන්න දවසක් තියෙනවා. ඒ අදාළ දවසට අදාළ කාර්ය කරගන්නවා. දැන් තව company secretaries බහුතරයක් මගේ ළඟට එන තව ප්‍රශ්නයක් තමයි companies වල annual return දාන්න miss වෙලා. company secretary කතා කරලා නැහැ clients ලට. Right? ඇයි ඒ miss වෙන්න හේතුව? Because you don't have a track of the companies. For that separately you have to maintain a Excel sheet, right? With the days, okay, this company incorporated on this day, this is the day that annual returns have to be filed. So all of those information should be in one Excel. All of these practical approach I'll be teaching you during this set of lessons, right? The document submission. Then articles of association. This of course there are articles of model articles of association in the Companies Act as well. you can take that. සමාගම් පනත ගත්තම ඒකේ අර මොඩල් දීලා තියෙනවා articles of association. ඒක භාවිතා කරන්නත් පුළුවන්. හැබැයි ඒකේ amendments කරන්නත් පුළුවන්. සමහරට අලුතෙන්ම lawyer කෙනෙක්ට කියලා articles of association draft කරගන්නත් පුළුවන්. The preparation and submission of the articles of association are another critical responsibility of the company secretary. So you have to both prepare as well as submit, right? These documents outline the rules governing your company's internal affairs. We say that articles of association is the internal constitution of the company. This is the internal constitution of the company. Everything that happens in a company, how it need to be done is mentioned in the articles of association. එතකොට articles of association වැරදියට draft කරගත්තා කියන්නේම company එකට ප්‍රශ්නයක්. එතකොට articles කොහොමද අපි හරියට draft කරන්නේ? කොහොමද අපි draft කරපු articles හරියට භාවිතා කරන්නේ කියලා practice එකක් තියෙන්නට ඕනේ. So therefore the company secretary is liable to prepare the articles as well as submit the articles. Now especially when you take countries like the UK, in the UK, when you are registering a company, submitting articles is not a must. If you want, you can submit. If you don't want, you need not, right? But in Sri Lanka, you can't register a company without submitting the articles of association. So articles of association will have the objects of the company, what is the company doing. In case if the company changes their line of work, the objects have to be amended. Articles of association have to be amended under a special resolution, right? So all of these procedures of doing it, I'll be teaching you separately. Don't worry, I'm just telling you the aspects that the company secretary does only, right? So here we studied 3, the name approval, document submission, articles of association, then form preparation, right? Next job is the form preparation. I told you from time to time you have to not only prepare the form, get the signatures of the people, of the directors, shareholders, and submit it for registration as well. The company secretary is tasked with preparing and submitting forms 1, 18 and 19. This is at the incorporation, right? Form 1, 18 and 19, each of which serves a specific purpose in the registration process. So actually form 1 is like the main application for registration. Form 18 is for the consent of directors. Form 19 is the consent of the secretary. So for each of these, for specific purposes, there is a form preparation that forms have to be. So here I have given just a structure. I think this is of a form 18. Structure of a form 18 has been given. So this particular, structure have to be followed. Usually some of the things come filled in. You have to check. Now in the EROC platform, once you submit the details into the sheets provided in the platform itself, these come automatically generated. So if there's a problem in those, before you give it to the directors, shareholders to sign, you have to correct them. Then අපි automatic structure එක ආවයින් පස්සේ structure අපි මේ page එකට details ටික දැම්මයින් පස්සේ automatically structure එකට details ටික feed වෙලා තමයි එන්නේ. ඒතර ඒකේ ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා නම් ප්‍රශ්නේ තියෙන document එක directors ලට shareholders ලට sign කරන්න යවන්නේ නැහැ. මොකද ඒක submit කරොත් අනිවාර්යෙන් reject වෙනවා. එතකොට ඒ ප්‍රශ්නේ හදාගෙන ඉවර වෙලා තමයි හරි form එක තමයි signatures වලට යවන්නට ඕනේ directors ලගේ shareholders ලගේ. So that is the form preparation aspect. Then the certificate of registration. So after you submit all of this and articles of association, after you do all of that, your company will get, I say that it's a birth certificate. Your company will get its birth certificate. Just like a child gets a birth certificate, company gets an incorporation certificate. ඒක company එකේ ඇත්තටම උපැන්න සහතිකය. මොකද කම්පැනි එක පටන් ගත්ත දවස මොන ඇක්ට් එක යටතේද පටන් අරන් තියෙන්නේ, කම්පැනි එකේ නම, ඔය ඔක්කොම විස්තර ඉන්කෝපරේෂන් සර්ටිෆිකේට් එකේ තියෙනවා. ඒතර ඉන්කෝපරේෂන් සර්ටිෆිකේට් එකක් ගන්නට ඕනේ කම්පැනි සෙක්‍රටරි. මොකද ඒක මත තමයි තියෙන්නේ මම මේ කම්පැනි එක රෙජිස්ටර් කරා, හරියට රෙජිස්ටර් වෙලා තියෙනවයි කියන එකට අපිට තියෙන සාක්ෂිය තමයි incorporation certificate එක. ඒතර incorporation certificate එකක් ලබා ගන්නට ඕනේ. Upon successful completion of the registration process, the company secretary ensures the prompt retrieval of the certificate of registration. ඒක ඉතින් කල්යල් බල කල් ගිහිල්ලා ගන්න නැහැ, පුළුවන් ඉක්මනට ගන්න ඕනේ. A document that signifies the official birth of your company. So this document only shows that officially your company has been born, your company is there, right? Every very important details like the registration number, name of the company and the date of birth of the company, date of incorporation are mentioned in the certificate of incorporation. I'll be showing you all a certificate of incorporation with the essential details, right? Next one, bank account opening, right? Next one, bank account opening. So in the of course businesses are started to make profits. No, profits are usually gotten to a bank account. So bank account opening, handling also sometimes done by the company secretary. To facilitate the financial transactions of your business, secretary assists in preparing resolutions and documentation. So with regard to bank account opening, mainly secretary does the preparation of the resolutions and the documentation for opening a bank account. So with regard to bank opening, you need to pass, I told you, board resolutions. All of those other documentation will be looked into by the company secretary. And also nowadays this talk is going very much now in Lanka, the tax registration of our organization. Registering your company for income tax to get a TIN number is a vital step in ensuring compliance with tax regulations from the outset. So even the tax regulation of your company is handled under the company secretary. So as a company secretary, you have to understand these are all main duties that you have with regard to a company. These are not duties you can oversee. Even if you hand it over to someone else, you still bear the ultimate responsibility of it. If something goes wrong, your company secretary qualifications will be at problem, right? මොකක් හරි වරදක් වුණොත් ඔබේ සමාගම් ලේකම් ධූරයට තමයි ඒකේ ගැටලුවක් එන්නේ. ඉතින් ඒක නිසා බොහොම පරිස්සමින් කරන්න ඕනේ. මේ මෙතන තියෙන්නේ කාර්යභාරයන් කිහිපයයි. මූලිකවම කරන්න ඕන ටික මෙතන මම ලිස්ට් ඩවුන් කරලා තියෙනවා. එතකොට name approval එක, document submission, articles of association drafting and submission, form preparation, certificate of registration, or you can even call it certificate of incorporation, right? Bank account opening and the tax registration. දැන් මේ ඔක්කොම company එක incorporate කරද්දී company එක පටන් ගද්දී කරන කාර්යභාරයක්. දැන් එතකින් company secretary ගේ වැඩ කටයුතු ඉවර වෙන්නේ නැහැ. තව ඉස්සරහටත් වැඩ කටයුතු තියෙනවා. දැන් බලමු ඒ දේවල් මොනවද කියලා. Post registration compliance and activities. Now after registration, what are the things that the company secretary have to focus on? What are the things that the company secretary will have to look into with regard to specific aspects of the company, right? It is essential to understand that compliance does not cease after registration. In fact, it is an ongoing and ever-evolving aspect of running a business, right? So, compliance does not, just because after you register a company, you can't, clean your hands and say, my job is done, right? Your work actually starts from the compliance. Compliance is the first job of yours. Thereafter, maintaining the company is in the hands of the company secretary. So, therefore, it's an ongoing, ever-evolving aspect of running a business. Let's see what are the responsibilities post-registration. After you register a company, let's see what are your responsibilities. First one, bank account management. So, from time to time, banks will ask for different documentation with regard to the company. You are the main compliance officer with regard to the documentation of the company. Any document, sometimes they will usually in the opening up of a bank account, they ask for the certified copy of the form 1. Then they ask for certified copies of form 18s, 19s. Then they ask for if there has been a director change or something, they will ask for the certified copy of form 20. Right, then the board resolutions. From time to time, different of these things will be asked whenever different transactions happen for your company. So all of these, documentation, you should have them ready. After registration, the company secretary oversees the opening and management of the company's bank accounts, ensuring seamless financial operations. Sometimes I have come across so many situations where companies' activities are actually halted. Especially bank activities of a company are halted because of the fault of the company secretary. එහෙම වෙන්න එපා, right? අපි දැනගන්න ඕනේ company secretary කෙනෙක්ව appoint කරලා තියෙන්නේ වැඩ ටික seamlessly කරගෙන යන්න, ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැතුව කරගෙන යන්න. ඒතර company secretary නම් මෙතන ප්‍රශ්නේ, එතන ගැටලුවක් තියෙනවා. අපි අපේ responsibility එක හරියට කරනවාද කියන දේ. ඉතින් ඒක නිසා company secretary කෙනෙක් සමාගම් ලේකම් කෙනෙක් විදිහට මතක තියාගන්න. හැම company එකක් ගැනම අපිට personal responsibility එකක් තියෙනවා. Personally ඒ company එකේ documents අපි ගාව තියාගෙන ඉන්නට ඕනේ. ප්‍රශ්නයක් වෙන ආවම documents හොයන එක නෙමෙයි අපේ කටයුත්ත. ප්‍රශ්නයක් වෙන්නේ ඉස්සෙල්ලා අපි documents ලෑස්ති කරගෙන තියාගන්නට ඕනේ. So the bank account management. Second one, as I told you, filing of annual returns. Sometimes clients forget. After you incorporate a company, client don't remember, right? So you have to keep track of your annual returns. I'll tell you another reason why you need to keep track of your annual returns, right? Of the annual returns that you are filing. Okay, for the incorporation, you get a fee from your client, but thereby every month, right, you are having a personal obligation on the company. Right? Why? You're looking at what is happening in the company. Let's say nothing happens. Let's say no director change, no company name change, no articles of association change. Nothing changes. Everything, happening as it was expected. But still, you have held liability of the company for a period of 1 year, for which you should be paid a fee. So there are some, I know, company secretary firms that charge monthly from their clients, but I will tell you now personally as starters, right? Even me up to date, what I charge is an annual fee. So your annual fee is charged with your annual return. The clients annual return matak karannet nahi. Clients sometimes don't even remind you that we have to submit an annual return, right? But you have to keep it in mind. Why? Along with the annual return submission only, you can take your annual fee from the company. So therefore annual return submission and keep the fee aside. Api fee එක අමතක කරමුකෝ. ඒ නැතත් annual returns file කරන එක බොහෝම වැදගත් වගකීමක් සමාගම් ලේකම්ගේ. එතකොට ඒක නොකළොත් එහෙම සමාගම් ලේකම්ට ප්‍රශ්නයක්. හැබැයි දැන් ඔය පස්සේ මම උගලන්ට ආයිත් කියලා දෙනවා. ඔය form 15 අපි submit කරන්න clients ලට කතා කරාම clients ලා සමහර විට ඔන්න අවශ්‍ය වුමනා හදිස්සියට company එක incorporate කරාට clients ලා එනවා ගොඩාක් උත්තරත් එක්ක. Clients come and say, we didn't do anything during the අවුරුද්ද ඇතුළත මුකුත් කරේ නැහැ. During the year we haven't done anything in the company, so no annual returns to submit. මුකුත් කළා හෝ නොකළා annual return submit කරන්න ඕනේ. මුකුත් කරේ නැත්තම් කියන්නේ අපි business activities මුකුත් කරේ නැත්තම් අවුරුද්දක කාලයක් company එක වහන්නට ඕනේ. So you have to inform it to your client, right? එතකොට sometimes clients say submit කරන්නම් කී ඉන්නවා කරන්නේ නැහැ. In those situations, how do you act as the company secretary? The practical knowledge you need to have, I'll be giving you throughout this session, right? I'll be telling you if your clients are not helpful in submitting your form 15, what you ought to do, I'll be teaching you, right? Annual returns. Compliance extends to annual returns which the secretary diligently files in accordance with the regulatory timelines. You can't file annual returns as and when you want. There are timelines. You have to stick by the timelines and submit them according to the timeline. What are those timelines? How do we do the submission? What are the information required for form 15? I'll be teaching you, right? Third one, communication. So remember that's why I told you, especially in Sri Lanka, I believe if you know all three languages, that is Sinhala, English and Tamil, very, very good. You will have a very good career, especially as a customer care agent, as you have to, as a communicating agent between different parties, right? At least you should know English and one other language, either Sinhala or Tamil, because based on the area that you are located, clients will come to you either with Sinhala or English. Either with Sinhala or Tamil, and English is a must that you ought to know in doing this job because your communication skills should be utmostly important. Any changes in company details like name, address or directors must be formally communicated to the registrar of companies. The secretary takes charge of this vital communication. Any change that happens in the company, usually company's house, right, or Samagam Medura, or the registrar of companies is like the mother of all companies. Any changes happening in the company, name change of a company, place change or address change of a company, or rather let's think about director change of a company, secretary change of a company, all of these have to be informed to the registrar. So who informs or who communicates all of this to the registrar of companies is the company secretary. So that duty is also there for company secretaries, the communication aspect. Next one, resolutions. As I told you, from time to time for different aspects of the company, maybe sometimes to enter into a lease agreement for the company, to purchase properties for the company, to sell companies' properties. For different aspects, you will need to give power to different directors from time to time. All of these are happening through board resolutions. So drafting these board resolutions are essential for making significant decisions within your organization. The company secretary facilitates the process, ensuring that resolutions are properly passed and documented. So you can't just pass a resolution and forget it. One sheet, passed it, forget it. No. Whatever the resolutions passed in the company should be maintained with you at least for a period of 10 years. අවම අවුරුදු 10කටවත් කම්පැනි එක පාස් කරපු හැම රෙසොලියුෂන් එකම කොපි එක කම්පැනි සෙක්‍රටරි ගාව තියෙන්නට ඕනේ, right? Because in case some problem happens, you should have proof to say, these people signed and accepted this, these people signed and agreed to it. To say that, you need to have proof, right? Next one, record keeping. So the shares, whenever shares are issued in a company, share registers have to be maintained, director registers, shareholder registers, chargers registers, all of these have to be maintained by the company secretary. The meticulous maintenance of minute books, share certificates, share registers falls under the purview of the secretary. This ensures that your company's records are organized and readily accessible. So company records should be readily accessible. In case if the company secretary or someone calls in for a discussion, you should be able to take all of these certifications, records with you. So as I told you, especially with regard to share issuance, there's a lot of documentation to be maintained. So all of this documentation and record keeping, I will be teaching you practically what are the things you need to maintain about each of these companies. So these are post registration, the functions of the company secretary: bank account management, annual returns, communication, resolutions, record keeping. There's a few more as well. Right, so the legal compliance. Company secretary, that's why I'm later going to teach you some aspects that a company secretary should be knowledgeable about. Having a legal, how can you say, having a legal approach, right, or having some legal knowledge is very, very important for a company secretary, because legally you need to know what are the things that must be submitted in a company from time to time, what are the changes that can happen in a company from time to time. You need to have an idea as a company secretary, you need to have an idea about the legal requirements, because company expects that you will know the legal requirements and that you will do the nitty-gritty. So therefore you need to have a good understanding about the legal compliance. For that you need to know the Companies Act, usually in and out as a company secretary. Beyond statutory compliance, company secretary plays a critical role in ensuring that all activities of the company adhere to the framework of the Companies Act number 7 of 2007, right? So if there is a problem, right, where the company have not abided by Companies Act number 7 of 2007, company secretary will also be in problem. කොයිම වෙලාවක හරි කම්පැනි එකේ සමාගමේ සමාගම් පනති හැටියට දෙයක් සිද්ධ වෙලා නැත්නම් සමාගම් ලේකම්ටත් ඒකේ වගකීමක් පැවරෙන. ඒක නිසා කම්පනීස් ඇක්ට් එක අතකින් අල්ලලා නැති පුද්ගලෙක්ට සමාගම් ලේකම් කෙනෙක් වෙන එක එච්චර සුදුසු නෑ. For a person who have not even touched the Companies Act number 7 of 2007, you being a company secretary is not very vital for an organization. But don't worry, in this course of study, I will be giving you the essential sections that you need to know in the Companies Act. Companies Act එකේ ඔයගලන් දැනගන්න ඕනේ sections ටිකේ ඉඳන්ම මම වෙන වෙනම ඔයගලන්ට උගන්වනවා during this 3-month period. This includes compliance with other relevant legal procedures as well. දැන් මෙතන Companies Act එක විතරක් දීලා තිබුණාට sometimes the Foreign Exchange Act, there are other legal requirements also that you need to know about, especially if you're in a public company or in a listed company. There are the listing rules that you have to comply by. All of these regulations that you need to know, I'll be teaching you, right? Then making sure that the financial records are in order. Of course, company secretary don't draft any financial records, but you should make sure that the financial records and information is maintained properly in the company. Detailed financial records and information about shares and ownership are maintained by the company secretary. So you should have the financial records will be made by the finance. You should have a record of the documentation. Then information about the shares, about the ownership in the company, all of these details that the company secretary will have, right? This financial transparency is essential for decision making and compliance. So company secretary can't say, no, mom financial aspects done, I don't know the financial aspects, so I don't have to maintain financial records. Not really. You have to get the records, file it and keep it with you. Other than that, you also have to have details, share details about ownership certificates and whatnot. Those information should be with the company secretary. Then the coordination, very, very important. As a coordinating officer in an organization, acting as a bridge between the company and external authorities, the secretary coordinates transactions and document submission. So one of the other main duties of the company secretary is acting like a bridge, like an intermediary between the company and the external authorities. So company and the external authorities, bridging between them is happening through the company secretary with regard to different, transactions and other document submissions. This includes liaising with banks and government authorities. I told you, more than government authorities, also mainly liaising with banks. Government authorities also sometimes you will have to liaise, even the company's house. Samagam Medura kiyanne, it's a government authority, right? So with the government authorities as well as liaising with banks is very, very important. You need to have very good idea with regard to the coordination as well. Then the annual general meeting. So organizing everything for the annual general meeting of a company is done under the company secretary. Organizing the AGM is a significant responsibility as it provides a platform for the board of directors and shareholders to discuss the company's past performance and future plans. So the organizing the AGM, where it's a platform for the board of directors and the shareholders to discuss how far have we come in the company, how far are we ought to go, right? So to understand this connection between those two is also done through the annual general meeting organized by the company secretary, looking into the organizational aspects of the AGM, making sure that an AGM is called is the function of the company secretary. So of course in private limited companies, the duties of the AGM can happen through a resolution. By passing a resolution, you can pass a resolution in lieu of the annual general meeting. That's a different procedure. I'll be teaching that procedure also later on. And also the reporting duties, activities and interactions with external bodies are communicated back to the board of directors, ensuring transparency and accountability. So activities, interactions with any other external bodies have to be, now let's say company's house or the registrar of companies inform something about the company. Company secretary can't keep it to him or herself. You have to inform it to the board of directors and the shareholders to ensure that transparency and accountability is there. So these are some of the, not all, some of the post registration functions of a company secretary. I think we discussed about 10 altogether. The bank account management, annual returns filing, communications, resolutions, record keeping, legal compliance, financial records coordination, the AGM and the reporting, right? So you don't have to by heart any of this, just if you know your role, if you know your duties, if you know what you ought to do, that is more than enough, right? That is more than enough. I'm just teaching you all of this because this is the foundation that you need to have to go for the further levels with regard to the particular qualification. And last but not the least, I believe this is a very, very, very important aspect. I mean, even if you are going to recruit a company secretary for one of your activities, these are things that you have to look for. And we as company secretaries have to always make sure that we have as much as possible out of these qualifications that we are going to study. Why? Because in fulfilling your duties, you having all of these, ideas is very, very important, right? If you particularly don't know about these particular functions, it would end up being a problem, because even now when you take a company secretary, from the roles and functions that we discussed till now, you would have understood some aspects are legal aspects, some aspects are accounting aspects, some aspects are business aspects, right? So as a company secretary, you need to have an overall knowledge, at least a surface knowledge about all of these fields. So therefore only I have added this list. As much as possible, you try to gain these throughout your service, providing services as a company secretary. There are මේ ඔක්කොම functions දැම්මම මේ ඔක්කොම qualifications ඔබට නැති වෙන්න පුළුවන්, ඒක ගැටලුවක් නැහැ. හැබැයි සමාගම් ලේකම් ධූරය දරන කාලය ඇතුළතදී පුළුවන් උපරිමයෙන් මේ qualifications ගන්න බලන්න. මොකද ඔබට හොඳ සමාගම් ලේකම් කෙනෙක් විදිහට සේවාවක් සපයන්න මේ qualifications තිබීම බෙහෙවින්ම වැදගත් වෙන නිසා. When hiring a company secretary in Sri Lanka, certain qualifications should be prioritized to ensure the individual is equipped for the role. First one, of course, having legal expertise is very, very important. ඒ හේතුවට තමයි අපි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් නීතිඥවරුන්ට සහ වරියන්ට සාමාන්‍යයෙන් සමාගම් ලේකම් qualification එක දෙන්නේ. right? එතකොට ඒ qualification එක දෙන්නේ සාමාන්‍යයෙන් legal knowledge එකක් තියෙන්න ඕනේ නිසා. A legal background is advantageous as it provides in-depth knowledge of corporate law and regulatory requirements. එතකොට අපිට corporate law එක ගැන at least as I told you before, you should have a well known knowledge about the Companies Act. So that knowledge together with the other compliance requirements only a legal expert will get. So just having legal expertise is not enough. You need to have some accounting skills as well. At least if you have accounting skills, it will be a added advantage, because especially when you are keeping financial records, when you are maintaining share registers, whatnot, some amount of financial and accounting knowledge you need to have. A chartered accountant brings financial acumen to the table, making them capable of managing financial aspects effectively, because usually all of these or most of the organizations that you will handle in future will be profit seeking organizations. So profit seeking organizations will have a lot of financial aspects that you really need to focus on. Then professional membership, this of course I keep it as a margin, you know, usually professional membership now, even if you take lawyers, we have a professional membership. Then these ACCA, CIMA, CMA, those qualifications, right? Membership is esteemed in esteemed professional bodies such as Association of Chartered Secretaries. So, you know, the Chartered Institute also gives the company secretary qualification. That is the Chartered Secretaries. An administrator, CIMA or CMA demonstrates a commitment to excellence. So actually, if you have a professional membership, it will be an added advantage. Usually not like those days. Nowadays clients look into everything before recruiting a company secretary. Company secretary කෙනෙක් recruit කරන්න ඉස්සෙල්ලා එයා තව recruit කරලා තියෙන companies මොනවද, එයාගේ experience මොනවද, එයා මොන හරි professional body එක member කෙනෙක්ද, ඔය ඔක්කොම අද කාලේ නම් companies වලින් හොයලා බලනවා, right? Companies do search for all of those nowadays. So therefore, if possible, I mean, get it as an additional qualification for you, which will be helpful. It will also bring a good, you know, highlight on your name as a company secretary. Then your experience, of course, this comes over time. I mean, no one of us, you know, typically having 7-10 years experience is good, right? But first you have to start from the first year to come up to 7 years to 7-10 years to come up to there. You should start from the first year. So your experience is also important. A seasoned company secretary with a minimum of 7-10 anyway, right, years of experience is invaluable in navigating complex regulatory landscapes, because as I told you before, majority of things I teach you also I learned through my experience, right? How do I say that it's through my experience? There have been enough and more situations where I have struggled as a company secretary not knowing what to do. මම සමහර විට සමාගම් ලේකම් කෙනෙක් විදිහට දැන් මේ අවස්ථාවේදී මොකද්ද කළ යුත්තේ කියලා දන්නේ නැතුව දුක් විඳපු අවස්ථා අනන්තවත් තියෙනවා. එතකොට ඒකෙන් තමයි ඉගෙන ගත්තේ ආයෙත් හැමදාම සමාගම් මැදුරට ගිහිල්ලා එතනින් අයට කතා කරලා මේ ඇඩිෂනල් රෙජිස්ට්‍රාර්ලා දක්වාම ගිහිල්ලා කතා කරලා තමයි ප්‍රශ්න විසඳගෙන. එතකොට දැන් ඒ ප්‍රොසීඩර් එක මම දන්නවා. මේ වගේ ප්‍රශ්නයක් ආවම මේ විදිහට තමයි විසඳන්නේ කියලා. ඒක එන්නේ experience එකෙන්. The more that you do company secretary work only, you will get that particular exposure or experience. And finally, the outsourcing option, it's worth noting that company secretarial services can be outsourced to qualified individuals, offering a cost-effective solution, particularly for startups and other classes of companies, right? So, especially if you are not a company secretary and if you know, you're starting a company and if you feel that the company secretarial work is too much for you to handle in a company, one of the things that you could possibly do is to hand it over or outsource it to a person who knows the company secretary work well. Make a company secretaries lata adala wena point එකක් නෙමෙයි, right? This is not a point applicable for company secretaries, but if you are starting a company and if you need to, you know, get a company secretary, if you want the company secretarial work to be done perfectly, one way you can do it is through outsourcing the company secretarial function. So that is also possible, because there are people who do company secretarial practices also. So as much as possible, try to at least get the legal expertise that you need, the accounting skills that you need, and gather the experience that you need to become the company secretary. Of course, I know it's difficult at the outset of it, at the beginning of it, it's very difficult. හරිම අමාරුයි ඔක්කොම එකට කරගන්න. හැබැයි බැරි නැහැ, right? It's not that you can't do it, it's difficult, we do understand that, but you can, right? So if you have something I always tell my students with regard to company secretarial practices is, remember, this is one way that you can really earn. And in a way, it is easy money compared to a majority of other jobs that we do, right? So learn about it correctly, learn how to do your function correctly, automatically your clientele will increase. Once you do a good job for 1, 2, 3, 4 clients, your clientele will increase, and thereby, of course, at least as a side hustle, this is a good thing to do. අඩුමතන් මේ මූලික රැකියාව විදියට නොකලත් ගෙදර ඇවිල්ලා නිකන් අමතර ආදායමක් ගන්න හරි කරන්න පුළුවන් දෙයක් තමයි company secretarial aspects කියලා කියන්නේ. ඒතර ඒක හරියට ඉගෙන ගන්න. ඒක හරියට ඒක කරන වැඩ ටික ඉගෙන ගන්න. ඔබ එක සේවාදායකයෙක්ට හරියට කාර්ය සිද්ධ කරයි කියලා කියන්නේ ඒ සේවාදායකයා තව එක්කෙනෙක්ට කියලා ඔහොම 3 4 5 සේවාදායකයෝ ඔබට වැඩි වෙනවා. එතකොට ඒ විදිහට තමයි මේක කරගෙන යන්න පුළුවන්. මම හිතනවා ඔයගලන්ට මේ පාට තුනේ මාස තුනේ පාඨමාලාව අවසන් වුණායින් පස්සේ මේක සම්බන්ධව හොඳ දැනුමක් එක්ක වැඩ කටයුතු කරගෙන යන්න පුළුවන් වෙයි කියලා. එතකොට මම මේ අපි කතා කරපු ස්ලයිඩ් එකේම ප්‍රැක්ටිකල් ඇස්පෙක්ට්ස් ගොඩක් කතා කරන්න තියෙනවා. ඒක ගැන ලයිව් සෙෂන් එකේදී ඔබත් එක්ක හමු වෙන බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්න අදට සමු ගන්නවා. ස්තුතියි.